Come on.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were gonna start warming the crowd up, start doing exercises.
Huh?
Here we go.
I think I,
All right, we'll call to order the October meeting of the monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees to order and have trustee Joe lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everyone. We'll start with the approval of minutes from the regular village board meeting on September 23rd, 2024. All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's kind of your thing.
I know, I don't let these,
Second.
these move in a little bit.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Mayor votes aye.
Yeah,
Opposed say
good.
nay. Each of us have the monthly reports for the Superintendent of Public Works, Sanitation Department, and Caldwell Sewer District, Planning, Zoning, and Code Enforcement, Rec Center, Fire Department, Director of Events, and Financial Reports. All those will be made available to the public free of charge. Just ask.
Just a note, I didn't get the planning and zoning.
Okay, we don't have the planning and zoning. So you can't have those. Hey, Tony. We'll start with the approval of a new junior fire member, Micah Collier Fisher. Looks good to me. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion to accept the new junior fireman.
Okay,
I can second it.
seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. No votes aye. Flower 2025 award. Judy, what you got?
Okay, I reviewed the bids. I dismissed Hewitt's because the plants are not really of the quality that we want. I spoke to Garden Time and Toad Flax on several occasions. I can read my little letter, or I can just say it. Garden Time, we substituted one plant initially, was no problems with any of the other ones. Toad Flax, we said they couldn't provide us with some of the plants at all. They did offer me substitutions of lesser value. And they did want to change our list to different plants entirely, which I discussed with them, but they felt that, they wanted to grow things they were already growing in the greenhouse. So that raised some red flags.
Mhm.
So I would like to go, even though it's a little more expensive, I'd like to go Garden Time. They're tried and true. They always give us the plants we need or better.
You did them last year, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is if they can get them, how come the other companies can't get these plants?
That I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
what's going on there?
I don't know.
If it is the highest one. right?
It's the highest one. I think it's $1,800.
What's the total?
I don't know.
Oh, I might have it, actually.
You do, it's
23.
Oh, I see.
23,083. Section 1 and section 2 are the village portion, section 3 and 4 are the town portion. So
Okay.
about 5,800 of it would be town, and then other 16 or 17,000 would be ours.
What were we last year?
15.
I just saw it on the
15,
outside.
something like that, yeah.
Well. Well, based on your recommendation and your experience with Garden Time being better, I would rather not take the chance of having subpar quality. So I would make that recommendation that we approve the Garden Time bid. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second
Second by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed say nay. I vote aye.
Thanks, Judy.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Judy.
Judy.
Halloween looks nice out there.
it. I love the
We had
hands.
more today, so you had to go after dark.
Oh, we have a letter for correspondence from the Lake George Central School District thanking Superintendent Lampier for the help with the hydro seed to the grounds. We've been working really well with the school. Keith is been quite an ambassador to them, and we thank him for it.
Yeah, and one of Warren County Soil and Water were really the ones that, pushed that along too, because they were actually trying to get rid of some of the, product they had, so it didn't go bad, so it worked out for most everybody's, benefit.
Oh,
for the
good.
most part. Yeah.
Good, well, thanks for giving them credit. Let's see. Resolutions to be considered. We'll go one by one on these. This is approval for Swazo Doty for the DRI overage. We will have gone over some of the design allotment that we set aside in our budget for the planning and engineering studies that we have to have done for DRI things in advance of, so we will get it back. But we can take it from our engineer account. In the interim, we'll just keep track of that, and when we get awards, when we start seeing awards come in from the DRI, we'll be able to pay that account back.
Can this also go towards like our percentage of the DRI that we have to spend?
It does.
Okay,
It's automatically assumed, but they need to be paid, unfortunately, well before we get paid, or else they don't do any more work for us.
right.
But yes, it does come. There is a match on a majority of the public projects is zero. So we'll get all of it back, even the
Okay.
engineering.
Sorry, can I get clarification? So the extra money you want to come out of our engineering instead of because I believe we had like 70,000 in planning and zoning and for DRI.
Oh, that's, yeah, well, it says on my engineer account. If we have it in planning and zoning, then that's where.
Well, that's
it'll
the
come
question.
from.
That's.
Yep.
that was-
That's,
Okay,
yeah, we
so-
did go over that, but I thought
okay,
something
that's-
changed.
Okay, that's what I wanted to verify.
Yeah. We did put extra money in planning and zoning, but kind of very similar wheelhouses. Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Lease agreement with John Carr, established a cost and approved a resolution. John has a lease with us already. And if you recall, John and Joe, this was a few years ago where we approved him to use a portion of the road by use. And he added some picnic tables and during COVID, and now he's turned it into a much more viable area for serving, but it has grown over what he had said before, so it's up to you guys if you want to increase the cost, which is $500 a year. I don't think we need to have him survey it because it's kind of a changing condition. Like you might move a table somewhere, you might relocate, but the amount of space, it's sort of irrelevant. No one else can use that anywhere. So I didn't think it was necessary to make him get a new survey for, $3,500. But if you guys want to talk about maybe increasing the cost $100, that's up to you guys to discuss.
The square footage is.
The square footage just changed a little bit, yeah.
How much, what percentage?
About 15%.
15%. Plus the value. Change.
Oh, sure, it's gone up. Everything does.
There's
I
also.
saw somewhere in our information, somebody said $1,000. Somebody thought I.
Were numbers that we tossed around, just in conversation, and I'm sure he would be fine either way with it. I was thinking raise it to 750, but it's up to you guys.
So this is land that the village owns that he's using. And we're just leasing it to him.
Yeah, it's
Other-
actually it's part of the road, because down there, the road
It's weird.
is weird. It's not, it's called, considered a road by use. And Keith, when we went through the surveys, the road was actually on his property, how it's drawn, but the way the road ended up getting paved is a different story. No one's fault, but it's still, we can't give services away for free, so we have to charge something. So whether we increase it or not, that's up to the board to decide.
Well, so basically after 5 years, then whatever's on that property that he puts is now village.
Well, he still can lease it, it's still his property.
Right, he'd have to just
The lease.
every 5 years.
Yep,
So this is kind of like him paying money for the lease versus he's paying taxes, but not more taxes for more properties, kind of.
correct. He's paying for tax-free property.
Well, in that case, we probably should increase the lease amount, I would say.
Okay.
It's tax-free property.
It's just how much is the.
It's just how much, you
Right,
wanna go
that's-
750, do you wanna go to 1,000? I'm sure he would be fine either way. It looks really nice if you guys have
Yes.
been by there.
Especially since it's been working well for him.
I think so.
You know, I remember he first had an issue to begin with when we first trying to come up with the rate. He wasn't happy.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, I think he has a little more set in time and value put into this, so.
What's your suggestion?
It's set for 5-year lease then again?
Yes.
5-year?
Mhm.
I would probably say $1,000 sounds a fair value for it.
Motion.
Is that a motion?
Make that a motion,
Okay, is there a second? Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
which I'm sure will be.
Those say nay.
He's not here.
Mayor votes aye.
He's not here.
not here.
About it too much.
We go back a little bit on the DRI, I need to have a set amount. Like, we're not to exceed a certain amount, right now, we're at about 4,000, a little over 4,000 above, so what we're looking just to cover, so we can pay them.
Okay.
Do you wanna set it at 7,000 or 5,000 or
Well, how much do
10,000?
we have to revisit this, or is that done?
Well, that's the thing, I don't know, are we done with them?
I think we're done with the applications until we get to the next phase. And
Okay, so then I would just say to cover these two current invoices.
Okay, who made the motion?
It was done by Joe and then John.
Okay.
Second.
You wanna revise your?
Yeah, I'll
motion?
revise the motion to cover what is out there now.
Okay. Can you agree with that second? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Aye. So the transfer of $1 million from the parking account to New York Class for the investment company, we had discussed it, and I don't know that we've got an approval. I think we got an okay from the board, but now it's actually coming time to do it. The New York Class account has finally been set up. Although we're not getting the same interest rate that we were getting when we originally discussed it, because the Fed's lowered the interest rate. We'll still stand to make, I think it's 7% on that money. Better than a CD.
I don't know the exact.
I forget what the amount was. It was like 8. And now, so now they dropped it 0.5%, so it could have gone down to around 7. Still a lot of money. Yeah. So I'll take a motion to approve that.
I'll make the you need that motion.
Okay, I will second it and we'll get there quick. All those in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Agreement with Mountain Medical for drug testing. This go up, down, stay the same?
A little bit up, not dramatically, within $10 of what it was.
Okay, take a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
And
I can
Allison's
second
gonna
it.
second it.
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Agreement with, Quill Jam. Jim Anderson puts on, and finds the bands and organizes the times and dates for all of our Fridays at the lake shows. I've talked to our special event director about going out to bid for this, and there is no one else that does that for this caliber bands in the area. So it falls under the lines of professional services. We do not have to go out to bid, but I just wanted you guys to know I did my due diligence on it, and I would recommend that we stick with Jim Anderson. He does a great job. Jose's dealt with him on a weekly basis over the summer. Very professional, does a good job. He books the best bands in the area for us at a reduced rate, so.
And also, the second page, so that you guys know, is what the changes that I proposed to make in the contract because he has us paying him on specific dates and they don't fall with our audits. So that's why the dates are changed and all of that. I can only pay him for things that have happened prior to the audit date. So that's why I say 12/7/50 on July 22nd, and then the balance on the September 23rd, because that will have finished the rest of the year.
And we were okay with that. Yeah, that's the-
Well, that's what I'm gonna propose, is
Okay.
we send it back to him
So
with
he'll-
this, and if he
Instead of
agrees
getting
with
two
it, then we'll
checks
be
for
good.
Yeah.
four bands each, and he gets one for
It's
three and
just
one
the
for
way that
five.
the audit fall,
Right.
our board meetings fall.
One thing that needs to get checked off, right?
Yeah.
Done differently. I'm going to improve that contract with, John.
Okay, I'll take a second.
One second.
Second by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. No votes aye. Lake George Beach Club license agreement. Hey, Greg,
Good evening.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
No, you just have to recuse. Doing well, thanks. Come on up. Don't be shy.
Yeah, not at all. Good to see everybody. Greg Teresi on behalf of LGBC LLC. So as you may recall, on the north end of the property or the north end of the building at the beach club, there's a portion of it that extends onto village property. This has been in existence for years. You all granted the beach club or the landlord LGBC a license agreement for $250 a year for the next 5 years. And Matt Fuller had drafted up a license agreement. Just in reviewing it, my one pitch to this board and to Mr. Fuller was that make it an auto renew so that every 5 years it automatically renews itself rather than having to come back before the body every time. The reason is, I was a municipal attorney for 10 years and you all have a lot of things going on and sometimes agreements don't get looked at, and I'd rather just stay current rather than we run a risk of somebody looking through the records and saying, oh, well, we missed this and now there's a big problem. There's a 30-day termination clause within the contract at any point in time. So if this body said, hey, we need that land back for whatever reason, you gotta demo your building or renovate your building. The village can always get that land back regardless, but when I talked to Matt about it, he said, well, geez, I don't have authority to draft the agreement to that full extent. You'd have to make the pitch to the board, so that's the pitch. There is a provision within it that affords you the ability, $250 a year is the license agreement. There's a provision already in there that allows you the ability to increase that upon notice to us. So this is just kind of trying to make it a little bit more seamless for the future.
How many renewals were you proposing?
I would say 20 years. And revisit in 20 years, or like I said, there's a provision in there that affords you guys the ability, you all the ability to terminate it on 30 days notice, so.
And then for some reason, if we felt the need had to raise the 250 up, that's still every 5 years. So we just sit there and send you a letter and saying that's what, or the board at that time.
Yes,
It's a
within
letter.
the contract, it gives you the ability to raise it really at any time, even within the 5-year period. So next week you decide 250 is not enough, we need a little bit more.
265.
You could go back, and you could increase that. So like I said, this is more of a housekeeping thing so that, it keeps the contract in place, and that way, I can diary it out for 20 years and hopefully deal with it in my retirement.
Right, from a beach somewhere.
That's right.
I see no issue with that. Does anybody else?
No.
I mean,
As long
we've
as we
already
still
kind
have
of
those
approved things.
provisions.
Why
Yeah.
revisit it in 5 years?
Well, as long as we have the provisions that we can change things or.
Yeah.
Change the rates or for whatever reasons, especially if you get a new board in here, I might sit there and say, I
Mhm.
don't think so.
Right,
It's not a lot of money anyway to cut it, so
Right.
if we have years been going by and we haven't changed the rate, it's not a lot.
I think we need some kind of a reminder that it's out there though every 5 years.
yeah, that's what our attorney's job is to.
Yeah,
let
just
us
as a
know.
reminder, only because it's just one of those things where
They'll
it comes
they'll
down
get
the
a,
road.
get a bill every year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All right, so is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that a motion.
Okay,
Second.
second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Recusals?
Recuse.
Mayor votes aye.
Thank you all.
Okay, thanks, Craig.
Take care.
Good to see you. Special event facility use applications. Request by Sasha Party of the Adirondack Winery to waive vendor permit fees for New York State agriculture next year.
This is the one that we tabled back.
We tabled that last time. Did we find anything else out about it? Did-
I couldn't, because I know we were saying that we would try to waive the fees for the vendors that are registered in the New York State agriculture. I'm not sure how we determine that. I couldn't figure out a way how you determine, because when I go on to their website, I don't see like a membership.
Maybe they have to verify with us that they are New York State agriculturally certified.
I couldn't figure it
I mean,
out.
so that wouldn't include like someone who makes crafts, it's just food, correct? I mean, like people that make maple syrup or apple cider.
It could be.
I
I
could
couldn't.
pose the question back to her.
Yeah,
I'd say
maybe
I'd
we
say
should just
do
ask that,
Let's
because
kick
it
back
could
to
be.
her.
Like I'm all for, I think, helping out like a farmer or something of that nature if they want to waive the fee, because it's nice to have that. I can't figure out what it is.
Okay, yeah, we'll turn the tables back on
It
them.
sounds like, if you remember that, that's one of the perks is you get an automatic.
Yeah.
So you just have to figure out how that.
How to prove it to us, and I think from what I'm hearing, we're gonna comply to that.
Right.
Okay. Rock the Dock Music Festival, July 12th, 2025. Tricia's here. I understand Luke needed 2 more barriers than he was given, so 12 barriers rather than 10. Keith, is that gonna be a problem? Okay. Keep that in the back of your mind for July.
And the question was whether we want to charge for the barricade use.
Do we currently?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
No,
That's the question that was posed.
it's, that's not a road closure, that's.
Nope, it's
that's
just,
they're
just
parking
blocking
our-
off the steel
parking
pier.
Our equipment.
yeah, just borrowing our equipment. I don't. It's not a hot commodity,
Yeah,
that we really should be looking to make revenue on, so I'm fine with not charging. Is the rest of the board okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
we traditionally do, offer the same stuff for the marathons, different.
The
times.
marathons, the triathlons and all that,
So
yeah,
it's not unusual.
all right,
I think you set them up at the chamber during the car show too, didn't you? The block, so then people didn't park in their parking lot.
might have been the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. okay.
Yeah. Do we need to vote on that?
We need to vote, just approve it and
Approve the
and
application
no, yeah, and no fees.
and no fees, okay.
No fees on the barricade.
No fees on the barricades, correct. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. All opposed say nay. Didn't think I heard any. Shepherd Park, Hudson Valley Firemen's Convention, Tom McKinney. In the past, when the firemen were here, we did not charge them any fees on the parades, I believe. Keith, were you here then?
I'm sorry.
Were you here? Did we charge the firemen any parade fees on the last time they were here? John, do you remember? I don't remember either.
I don't really know, to be perfectly honest with you.
I checked with the other communities that they have it in, and they did not charge them any fees for facility use. I'm fine if this board does not want to charge them fees. It's not a lot, really. It's a day at the park and a parade fee. Parade fee is 1,500 and the park is 250.
Happy to see him back.
Okay. Got a motion?
That's a motion.
So we
Do
approve,
we approving the application as well?
For the parade, yes, I'll make the motion.
Well, this is for the event,
For the
the park, at the event and parade, okay.
Yep.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Lake George Polar Plunge. We've always wasted fees on this one. This one is November 23rd. Is this the Special Olympics one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we approve this application and waive the fees. Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Lake George Community Garden Club plant sale, annual plant sale. It's usually in the morning in spring. And we've traditionally waived the fees. They just sell plants at the top of the park. If you're agreeable, I'll take a motion to approve the application and waive the fees.
So we,
can second.
Second by trustee Miller. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Lake George Fire Department Summer Festival. Can I take these two in one motion? Family Festival in August and the Summer Festival in June. Does the board have a problem with
no,
that? And we waive those fees as well for the fire department, so I'll take motion to approve those two.
so we,
Second,
A second.
seconded by trustee Jose. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. No votes aye. Summer Love and Food, Fun Fest. We have traditionally waived the fees on this one, so if the board agrees, I'll take a motion to do so. I'm
maybe a no.
right, I remember that, that's why I wasn't expecting that again.
It's a quick question. Did they donate to a scholarship this year?
Yes,
Good, all right.
$10,000, $1,000 scholarships to Lake George kids.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I can second.
Second by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
That's just on the fees. Though. Not on the.
Non-waiving the fees, okay. Mayor votes aye. Two votes. Birthday party, Brandon Combs. November 2nd, it's my anniversary. Happy birthday, Brandon. Just use facility approval, he's a member of the fire department, they get to use it for free. And I'll take a motion to approve that.
Make the motion.
Can second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Training. Chris Buckley, Chris Andrews, $75 apiece for the Adirondack Water Works Conference Fall Meeting Workshop in Latham. Keith, you're not going?
Not just, no, this is not, the subject matter here, I've already got training, I've had training on this, last year
Okay.
as well. They apparently, double dipped on the training for that. It is a good topic though, for both Chris's. Is because one of the categories is the, pump station, information that we would want to be looking for the specifically on the Bradley Street pump station. And there has information on designing a pump station, so it's gonna be a good training for what we have.
Okay.
Yep.
Take a motion to approve that.
make that motion.
Motion by trustee Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Philomeo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Two new employee hires. John Smith, yes, that is really his name. And Sarah Haley from the Teen Center. Jen DeLolio from the Teen Center, hired Sarah for an assistant to replace the, assistant that had moved on. I think she moved out of the district in a way. And John Smith is applying as a laborer. He was, his termination from his job was, the closing of Great Meadow. And the poor guy has only a few more months until he could actually retire from employment. He plans to stay on. But I thought that was kind of a crummy thing, and he was more than willing to work. Keith and I and John Helms all interviewed him. He's anxious to begin working for the village, continue his civil service. civic service, not civil service, civic duties. So I'll take a motion to approve both of them at $20 an hour and $16 an hour respectively.
Can make that motion.
Motion by trustee Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Okay, get down to health insurance. This is a sticky wicket, this one.
Yeah.
I was explained to us by Lori, in several different ways, and she has outlined them here. But I'm sure Julie can do a much better job explaining this.
Okay, so basically, it's going up about 46%, something to that effect.
Yeah.
The people that are currently on this plan pay 5%. The people that retired shortly after them pay 15%. Anybody that currently retires pays 20%. These people also receive up to $1,000 a year reimbursement. So they're getting, and they get like 100, so I think that's up to $100 a month is what it boils down to. So what we're trying to find out from you guys is how you want to handle this increase. Obviously, it's not budgeted. We didn't know it was going to go up this dramatically. There are options in here where you can opt to go to a cheaper insurance. We just got Anthem in place. I know from a standpoint logistically, internally, we would prefer you didn't switch the insurance again. There's a lot of different ways you can handle it. You can opt to increase theirs to match what we're currently paying, like 20%. And then maybe deduct what they get in reimbursement to help cover that cost. And then you can reevaluate it in June if that's what you want to choose to try to help pay for it just in this budget. It's kind of up to you guys. There's a lot of ways you can play it, but it ultimately is you guys' decision. And that's why we tried to give you a lot of different options and let you see, this is what's going out. This is how much it's going to cost. We really wouldn't. I would hate to see it all passed on to the person just because of the fact that they put a lot of years in with the village to get their retirement, and they're all in their, later years, and they're all on fixed incomes at this point. And I don't know if 46% increase could be fully absorbed by all of them. I don't want them to lose coverage. But it also is a supplemental insurance. So
Right.
It's not mandatory that they have it.
it's not, they have Medicare A and B, they have to have those two requirements in
Right.
order to get this. So, there's that, but like I said, it's up to you guys to decide, and we do have to have a decision because we have to give them an answer. What do you guys think? I think my personal opinion, a fair would be to move them to the 20% so that they are absorbing, an increase, and perhaps bring down just what their reimbursement is to help cover the costs of the village.
From the 5% to the 20%?
Yeah. Because instead of the full 46.
Well, to your point, when these people were working a municipal job, the hourly rate was pretty low, so
Mhm.
the retirement and the
Benefits.
healthcare was what they were working for. And
Right.
then now I say, oh, sorry, we're gonna charge you more for that, so I think we ought to take that into consideration, do the best we can to keep them paying as little as possible.
The tough part is that healthcare has significantly increased over the past several years.
We're kicking the can down the road. is what you're
Right.
Saying,
Well,
So-
yeah, last year it was 11% the first year I started, 12%. And they're saying again, another 12, 13 this coming year.
So if you think about it, if you have a village employee who retires and they retire and they've got, I know it's morbid to think, but 30 to 40 years left on their life, and then we're paying that amount every year for 30 to 40 years, your village taxpayers taking on a pretty significant amount of money, especially because we have no idea where health insurance costs are going to go at this point.
They're not going down.
No, and they're significantly increasing.
Increases every year too.
Right, so that's the issue is that if we keep taking it on, what will this bill look like down the road?
Okay, where do we stop?
Right, and so how much are you asking your village, resident to pay? 'Cause it's significant. And I think at the time when these types of policies were created, healthcare wasn't this significant. Yeah, you weren't paying.
Longevity of life was in this.
Sure, yeah, so this is also I think it's something that needs to be relooked at. I don't want to just throw old retirees under the bus and say like, oh my gosh, now you have to start paying all this money, but the Medicare Part A and Part B, how much does that cover for them? Because I know there are rules, like if
Yeah.
you have something else, then it's like your other insurance has to cover all of it before what Medicare Part A and Part B kick in. Medicare Part A and Part B, do they kick in first and then ours comes in? to
That,
play?
yeah, ours is supplemental to them, so it's A and B are their primary, and then this would be the supplemental.
I mean, so I feel like this, I don't know if can we do a greater study of this, of how much people are using this insurance? Is that?
I
even
mean, for
possible?
now, we honestly don't have the time.
Right.
It's literally, it starts January 1st, we would need time to notify everybody and get it in, get it out to them to let them know if there is gonna be an increase.
Right.
That's the main thing, and that's why she sent it to you guys well before the board meeting. So that you guys could go through and look at it and get a decision and what you think maybe we should do it and then vote on it.
Have there many claims placed into the, against this?
I don't know as far as the insurance claim itself, I don't know, as far as we pay out $125 per month for Part B, which is paid out quarterly. She's saying 8 of the same retirees also get that, so they're eligible for it, whether they actually all, submit for it. That I'm not positive.
Yeah, Julie, there's a couple questions. I apologize. So is it fair to say every January 1st for the foreseeable future, there'll be a rate increase
Yeah,
for foreseeable future?
Hopefully not 40.
When do we learn of the rate increases?
as far as regular insurance, not the retirees, the regular, like MVP one. We generally get it before the budget so that we get the figures before the budget. We don't actually get the paperwork till like May. And that's generally given to you guys at that point to get approved and put in the budget. But we should know by like May what it's gonna be, but they're saying, giving us a heads up, we're looking at another 12%.
This is historical, the 46% raise. This is never,
No, this has never
unprecedented.
had, no, and it's not just Anthem,
Right.
everybody, every insurance company has done this. Unfortunate, it just seems really unfortunate because we just signed up Anthem. And if you, like you said, if you look through the thing, she did show you another example, which is a little bit cheaper. But it doesn't have the benefits that the Anthem did.
how many retirees are in the program right now?
In this
Right.
one, there's 11. 11 of our retirees and 6 of their spouses that pay at the 5%.
What's 17? What's the financial impact if we did the 20?
So it's in here.
That's on there.
Yeah,
I apologize.
yeah.
My eyes aren't doing too great today.
20.
And then my
Well,
classes.
no,
You've
you
gone
get
all up
15,
to
like I said.
15.
No, the 20.
The only reason I'm mentioning the 20 is because that's what our current, like if I
The
was to
current
retire tomorrow,
people.
I would be paying 20.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So right.
I mean, you could bring it up,
Here.
like I said, which is the next level, which is the 15, and that's what you
So-
put the scenario in.
This is the
Classes.
scenario that we're currently in, where it's 15 and 5%, and if we did that, this would be the amount that the village would be paying per month for retiree health insurance. Yep, yeah. And then this is the suggestion, if you had everyone pay 15%, then it really doesn't change.
There's a lot of different scenarios. Like I
But-
said, you could opt to do them at 15%, and then maybe instead of the 125 every quarter, do 100. Just to help offset the cost, and then we would absorb the difference.
I think in my mind that maybe I would say it's fair to bring it to 20% with such a large increase that we didn't budget for. And sending something to the retirees, you know, explaining that we are we are sorry, but there's also this impact of that we didn't budget for this and that we can't also send off this cost to the residents. And then I don't know how many of our retirees live in the area. If there's a way that maybe we could set up a meeting with them to talk about how much they use this and are we paying for insurance that maybe it really isn't used that much? And if it is, then it's really just wasted money on our part.
Well, isn't it some insurance that if we get a refund on?
Well, like I said, they get $125 per month. No,
Whether they use it or not.
well, yeah, 8 of the same retirees
Yeah,
also
so
get a
it's like-
Medicare reimbursement of $125 per month for Part B, paid out quarterly as stated on page 12. That's why I was saying if you didn't want to go to full 20, go 15 and maybe opt that and change that to $100 a month per month. Reimbursement, 'cause-
I don't know what the calculations are off of that, right off the top of my head, that'd be tough for me to do. To change like 100 a month, 11 people, to like 1,100.
Well, they'd be
100
paying
times
less
11.
out, but to them. But they'd be paying less to help cover the
There's,
increase.
I think too.
I mean, you know, sort of kind of leaning towards that, because they're still receiving something. They're getting help with the increase. Still trying to keep it down a little. But unfortunately, it's just one of these things that it's inevitable that they're gonna have to start,
paying a little
you know,
more.
contributing a little
Mhm.
more.
Well, yes, I agree with that, but you got some of these at the current, they're paying $9.48 a month.
5%ers.
The
Yeah,
5%ers, and even the 15%ers are 28.43, if they go all to 15%. Yeah, it's a jump from 9.48 to 38.76, but it's supplemental coverage, it's not necessary. At the same time, going from 28.43 to 38.76, that's not that. You know, they don't tell you that when milk goes up in price or beef or.
If it did go to 20, that'd be, everybody's at the top and then they would just, everybody would rise from there if we were to change the percentage again.
Right,
Like we're all at 20.
we're at 20
20?
now.
Okay.
I think I might be going with the 20. But again, I think this needs to be a bigger conversation, like I don't think, I think the 20 is probably fine for right now, but we need to like have a bigger conversation about this, and is it physically feasible for a village to,
Keep on carrying it.
right? Yeah, thank you. Which I think if we started as a larger conversation now, by the next time this happens next year, we'll already have something set in place that we've talked to retirees about.
I think we should raise everyone to 15%. It seems a little more fair than to go from 5 to 20, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Well, what's at 20? What the 15 to 20 is, what's the difference?
Well, it's not, it's a 5 to 20.
It's the 5 people that
5
are
to
paying
20.
5% and then they go up to 20%, that's a big shock to them.
5 is 9 and 20 is,
20, I don't have 20, I have 15.
I know you have
Yeah.
15, so 15 is 38, so
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah, I mean, feel like that's,
Sounds like a lot of what's out.
yeah, it's
Oh.
probably like another like to $45 would be my guess.
yeah, I would think it'd be low 40s, mid
Yeah,
40s.
mid 40s.
Yeah.
Which to go from 30 to low to mid 40s, I'm not.
The difference between 15 and 20. The 5% is probably not a lot. It's more psychological. It sounds like a lot more.
Right.
Well, it does, but you're talking
Dollars wise, it's,
pennies and 50 cents.
well, probably less than $10, the difference between 15 and 20.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is if this is really going to mess up our budget, where are we pulling that money from too? So that's the
Well,
other,
if it goes over, it
part of
would mean a
this.
budget adjustment.
right. I'm for 20. That's it.
Next budget meeting.
What's your
we have
thoughts?
to-
Yeah,
uh,
15 or 20?
20, I think that's why everybody's on the same level and
Joe, what do you think?
it's once and we're done with it.
At 20, is there still a way to pull back some of the refund to help contribute to that or no? We talked about 15 and then,
You can always, you guys can opt to change anything in our employee handbook
Right.
if you choose to.
It's just a
And
shell game. with
You
money.
can,
Yeah, but-
you can change, I would, like I said, you can not give them the 125 a month. You can tell them they don't get a full $1,000 per year
We'll scale the,
for reimbursement, but the easiest thing to deal with as far as paperwork and all of that is just to change the percentage.
20, all right. We'll do that and then we can figure that.
So
the
we're
rest of it
looking-
out another time.
No, I'm on, actually, what John was saying, 20, we're on the same level.
everyone across the board.
Yeah, 'cause I was sticker shocked by the percentage. It's like I was sticker shocked.
Yeah.
That's a huge jump up. You're right, you're looking at it, it works out to $1 a
43 and
day,
change.
I think. Mhm.
All right, somebody want to put that in the form of a motion?
I can put it into a motion to move to 20%
Across the board.
across the board.
To move the 5% to 20 and the 15 to the 20.
Standard 20.
Second,
I'll second it.
seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Reluctantly. Let's see, beautification award, see, the fun ones. We had one candidate placed before us by the village board of trustees, and congratulations to the Bellingers at 95 Montcalm Street.
Yeah, Jose's is the only one I didn't receive.
He wrote a smiley
All right,
face.
then it.
I mean, do it.
unanimous.
Unanimous decision for the Bellingers. Nice folks, I do like that house a lot. Personal watercraft in the basin. The Park Commission has reached out. There was, and John will remember the time when personal watercraft or jet skis were all over like gnats in the basin of the lake, and they were renting them, yeah.
Right.
They got in the way of the large boats such as the Mini, the Mo, the Lac du Saint Sacrament, the Oracle. I don't think the Adirondack was around yet, but there are people who own properties and have these personal watercraft vehicles, and so far, for the last few years that it's been brought to the village's attention, the Park Commission had come and said, do you want us to ticket these? Because the way the law reads is no one at all can be in the basin. They'll tell you to leave, and if you don't leave, they can ticket you. People have acquired them and keep them at their house. And this got brought to a head when a gentleman applied for a scrimshaw, couldn't think of it before, just thought of it, Patricia. Applied for a lift for the two personal watercrafts, and he went to the Park Commission to apply for the lift, and they're like, well, wait a minute, you can't do that, based on village law. So I spoke with our attorney, I spoke with the Park Commission. Dave Wick had suggested that we alter the law to allow directly in and out of the basin only at the 5 mile an hour zone.
To and fro.
To and from, and no, do not pass go, do not collect $200, nowhere else are you allowed.
Did he have to ride only in no wake? My question is,
No wake,
we have to share,
Now, it only goes right down the middle.
yeah.
great time. How does this affect the boats, for the captain seeing these? Especially, it's hard to catch them sometimes, the jet skis, and I'm in a 24-foot, 25-foot boat. How does that affect the big boats?
The reason I came, because this is on the agenda, but the thing that's equally troublesome. If you allow one, and I think the August meeting of the Park Commission got approval for two personal watercraft rigs. If you start allowing that, there's gonna be more. All the motels are gonna start applying for them. And the problem that is really distressing now are the kayaks paddleboards, wakeboards, you know, all of this stuff, big tricycle-like things with big inflatable wheels, very susceptible to the winds from the north. When there's, you know, white caps on the lake, people go out, they don't know, and then they get blown on the top. There's been a number of distressing incidents, particularly this summer. One of the captain's daughters told him that there was a TikTok challenge or on a kayak or whatever you're on to go out and touch the mini as she goes by. This is where the minis always come in. She shapes up to come in. Her schedules doesn't vary. It's known in advance. I was outside on Pine Point, then I heard the 4 whistles blowing, which a lot of people have no clue that means danger. They wait for the boat. And I counted 35. And I stopped counting. It's like counting these when they're going south, you know, in flocks that float by the lake. 35 different separate paddleboards, kayaks, etc., all kind of surrounding the minis. So the captains are telling me when they start to come down and shape up to land, these boats just like swarm, and it's very hard. You run into situations too, in particular, that stuck in my mind where the mini's coming down, clearly, you know, she's like a train, doesn't stop easily. A dad goes by on a kayak, their child is not as fast or as good, and they're cutting right across the bow of the mini. She can't stop on a dime.
Right.
And so the dad goes by and the kid is totally at danger. You know, the mini goes full astern, right? And full stop, and still has a grip. And it just depends on whether that kid can paddle now. Other situations, and it's not that uncommon. 2 kayaks, first one is a girl, maybe 11, 12. Second one is her brother, 7, 8, maybe 6. And they go across the bow. They have no clue. Don't cross the bow of a huge boat. It's like running in front of a train.
Right.
It's alarming, and it's an accident waiting to happen. And I don't think this or Lake George really wants that to happen. But this is a loss of life potential. We have 2 captains. One of them is madly steering the boat to try to minimize the possible danger. The other one is out there trying to instruct people on how to get these people out of danger. It's not infrequent. That's the alarming thing. So the motels advertise kayaks as an amenity. I don't know what insurance they have. I don't know what the people are signing. I don't know what instruction the people get. The mini's schedule is set. Her route is set. It's just, like I said, it's an accident, a tragedy waiting to happen. So if you increase personal watercraft, they don't necessarily obey the 5-mile-an-hour zone. The rental boats don't. You can see them going out all the time, just random. You know, when this last situation occurred in August, the most egregious, I went up to the park commission and Lieutenant John's there. I spoke with him because I was so distressed at the potential for loss of life, really, of kids, you know. And he talked about different situations where his troopers were up and people don't even have the life vest fastened around the 3-year-old who falls into the water, but the life vest isn't buckled. It's not fastened. The kid's gonna float out of it, and they're fishing. They got there in time to fish them out, but you know, it's frightening to me as a business owner, especially as a human being, especially. And I think that if you let this seemingly innocuous personal watercraft come cruising slowly in, that's fine if you know the people. But it's only going to open it up to this other unregulated situation, I think, where they're all going to have jet ski lifts, you know, at the end of their dock. And then they're going to be having those as amenities, or, you know, the guests will bring it and put it there. They don't know the rules. They don't know the navigation rules. They cross the bow. They put themselves and everybody in danger. Another situation that blew up on my son Luke's dock. Two parents were in a kayak and their kid was in one by themselves. I mean, you would think that you, as a parent, would put yourself in with the kid and the other parent would be here. And the north wind came up and they were just, he had to go into the water to help them come in safely. It's constant. It's constant.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can appreciate it unless you're down there watching this, listening to how often the boat's four whistles go. You know, and the traffic it's really increased in the southern basin. And the people are not, they don't know the rules. They don't know the navigation. If everybody was being responsible, that would be one thing. But they come up and it's just like, I'm gonna, you know, have free TV. I'm gonna have a free kayak and it's wonderful. Go play in the lake. I would like to see buoys put up. And the rule is you can't go beyond that or you're ticketed and the motel is ticketed. The kayaks don't even have any flags on their back end. If they're rental companies and they're renting kayaks, they have the flag on the back so that you can at least see them. And they have a responsibility. The motels are just advertising it as an amenity, which makes me wonder how much insurance they're carrying, how much responsibility they're having. What instruction is being given and how much of it is being absorbed.
Right.
It's really dangerous. It's just come on down to our office in the summer and just watch this happen. So I would propose to you to, when I talked to the lieutenant at Lake George Park Commission, he said they had 2 patrol boats for down here. That was it. So the last couple weeks of the summer, he took those 2 patrol boats. He had his men visit all the motels and warn them about the situation. And he accompanied the Minnie and they actually put themselves between the motels and the Minnie as she was coming down. And it was wonderful because the captains didn't have to worry about what would suddenly come to them like a flock of bees. It was like an escort. If you saw it, it was just like an escort. And every time the Minnie came down, the patrol boat would be there. And it was incredible, but I really don't think we should be hiring an escort boat, you know,
Right.
to just do cruises. I think there ought to be some form of regulation so that people can enjoy the lake, but safe.
I would suggest that we contact the park commission. I have talked to Dave and then Lieutenant Johns on this matter. That was their suggestion, was to allow it, but maybe we go a little step further and have the onus on the personal watercraft owners that they maybe get a permit from them so they could go through some sort of an interview process and answer a questionnaire or agree to a disclaimer stating the same, all of the things that you just said. In order to move forward with this, I will talk to them and our attorney about that, but I would also suggest that I would like to know if there's a way that we could put the buoys to, you know, you can put some verbiage on a buoy that you won't see from the shore, but you'll see from a kayak as you're going, no kayaks beyond this point.
And make the hotel motels and hotels liable for
Mhm.
their, that you're signing something, you read it, or it's gonna be
Yeah, you
fine.
can't just leave the kayak out there. They're completely unsupervised. The kayaks
Yeah.
are untethered and you just take them and put them in the water if you're a hotel guest.
You might have a
motel
couple
guest.
hotels, they have to register to get them because they're not, they don't have enough, but. Well,
I will-
if they have the water markers or something, yeah.
I will dust off I was on a committee a couple of years ago when this came up, because the kayaks were just so nuts during
Yes.
COVID. It was insane.
Yeah, Meadowbrook, the
Yeah,
motel on Lake.
Shore
Avenue.
Meadows,
Yeah,
Shore Meadows.
yeah. They
They
were renting them and, yeah.
Yeah, they had a limit. We talked about putting a limit on the number of them, or the waiver thing came up and disclaimers to the hotel guests. But I will have Dan Baruch was on that, because it started out with, somebody wanted to put a Ferris wheel on Beach Road. And then it came into all the different uses at the lake and distance from the lake, so I'll have Dan dust that off and see, because we had a decent amount of guidelines. It just never got implemented.
I think one thing that the park commission was saying is that the motels are not regulated by anybody. I read
Right, they're
something,
not, they don't have a marina license.
You know, thinking that, the park commission was in charge, and they're like, no one's in charge. It would have to be the village to extend out, just like they did for the jet skis. To extend the safety zone out and make the regulations in here. I'd like to see an age limit on who's allowed to take a kayak out from the motels, because there are young children taking these things out. And I don't know where their parents are.
Well, they're in the other kayak,
Well,
obviously.
If they're out there,
Yeah, no,
they're on the beach.
in the divorce kayak.
Do you still have the same issue like further up the lake, or is it kind of just here in the southern basin?
I don't think it's the same further up. I mean, there are motels along the west side,
Right.
but the boats.
The lake's a lot larger out there.
What?
The lake's a lot wider out there. Someone's not gonna try to shoot across that lake.
Yeah, it's wider. I mean, they go far beyond the buoy. They go out to the middle and there, you know, but they don't have a flag on. I don't think they realize what danger that they're in
Yeah,
and how invisible they really are
Yeah.
when you're looking from a big boat or a boat that's not plain. You know, and they're up like this, and there's that kayak down there, and it's just like.
yeah. I looked for them yesterday. I was on the sink yesterday with my cousin who was visiting. But I did look for the kayaks, and I didn't, it was Sunday afternoon, I didn't see any.
No, well, the lake's getting cooler,
Mhm.
but in the summer, it's just every day. It's.
Let's make a point to this, is July 4th weekend, I saw 2 jet skis over by the Shepherd's Park Beach, literally race the cut in front of the Mohican. Literally, what's Mohican? Yes, it's small. Literally, they lined up to race, it was a double and a single. And we're on the top deck just looking, watching us go down. My first question was, you have jet skis down here? And you realize they're racing, it's the boats coming in. They get past it. You know, I'll be honest, when we were younger and idiots, you're jumping in the wakes and so on, but you start seeing this and you realize you're right about the kayaks. I've never seen so many kayaks. I've seen the tri bicycle with the big wheels out on the water.
Those should be, why we have those things.
I don't even know if like us setting up more buoys would make it safer, because a lot of people just don't care. Like, I mean, even our swimming area at Shepherd's Park, I can't tell you how many people saw that swim out past it. Cause
It's
they're,
not so much buoys being safer, but buoys being markers where we can identify lines of where these personal boat wraps can go out as far as.
And tickets can be issued past that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would be
Yeah.
thinking more towards.
That's what Lieutenant Johns is saying.
Yeah.
And they could issue tickets to people, and he also said something about issuing tickets to the motel that.
Okay, I will,
Certain distance from shore.
I'll follow up with the park commission and our attorney and see what we can. accomplish.
Yeah.
We can table this for now, there's no rush.
Yeah.
I mean, we should not just leave it
No, we want to get
Santa Claus that comes out on New Year's Day.
on the stand-up paddleboard.
oh,
He's pretty skilled though,
Yeah.
I put my faith in Santa.
Well, all the ladies of the lake are put away at that time. Well, no. You're going up there cruise, right?
Not gonna lose this year.
Nobody.
Oh, no?
No, not this year.
Nothing.
We're gonna do fireworks.
That would be most appreciated.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm sure we can come up
No,
with something.
definitely.
Someone will make a suggestion and it just hasn't been carried over the finish line yet. We did a lot of talking about it a few years ago and it just didn't materialize. Chief, you said you had a couple items. Actually, Pam, you got anything?
I do, but I'll go after him.
Okay.
You're.
No, you go ahead, chief.
Okay. The DEC forestry equipment grant is due in on the 15th of November. That's a grant we've applied for several times with varying degrees of success. And we would like to apply again. Basically, you purchase
$5,000 worth of forestry type equipment, either PPE or tools and equipment, and the state will reimburse us $2,500, so if successful. So being a grant, we wanted to be sure that the board was aware and okay with us pursuing that.
Do you need any assistance with that grant application?
No.
Okay, because I mean, we could have, maybe Dan could assist you, Dan Baruch could assist with any.
The first assistant has done it before in the past.
Okay.
I'll see if he wants to do that. If he thinks he can handle it on his own, then we'll pursue it.
Okay, I think we need to motion for that, for them to apply. Yes, we do. I'll take a motion to approve the fire department to apply for a forestry grant.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
second by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Fly away.
The second thing is, past chief Scott Smith, he's working for an employer that is based near the airport right now. He is, looking to do the mutual aid, agreement with South Queensbury. And, that's, if you're familiar, where we actually continue to pay his, workers' comp on the scene, but is permitted to respond to calls with the South Queensbury Fire Department.
Because he's there all the time.
Right, and I don't know whether that needs approval or just an FYI or.
I think the last time it was just an approval. You remember, Joe? That we could use mutual aid for another, it was similar to, I think something in Warrensburg, right?
Wasn't someone else in another area?
That was from another district, another completely area, another county even,
That works up here.
and they were doing it up here, so I don't think we did any.
There was, as I look back through the files, there was one member that was here. And a full member here and then wanted to. When he traveled back to his home territory, he still wanted to be able to do that, to respond with his home company or his. Company he used to be with.
Mhm.
And I see where, the village had agreed to do that. We have three mutual aid members from down in Westchester County that, contribute very well to our department and, in our ability to respond, so.
Yeah, so I think just the heads up is
Just do
fine.
a motion and motion to approve.
Motion to
Motion
approve.
second and then approve it. We don't have to do a resolution, but.
Okay, so,
Make a motion that we do that.
all right, I'll take that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second as long as you know if it's okay. If, just they find back records or something like that.
Yeah, it's been done and it's being done.
Been done, it's currently
Well, no,
being done.
as long as it's being done and you guys are, I'm fine with that too, man.
Okay,
that-
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
you got it. That it? Donnie, Trunk or treat?
Myself for the,
trunk or treat?
trunk or treat will be there.
All right,
I believe we should have enough driver. We'll get whatever trucks we can off the floor and. We'd like to put the antique right in front of Molly Malone's if possible, as long as weather permitting.
we want you on the other side of the street, on the park side of the street. We're gonna get the kids into the park and then keep them off the street. So we want,
Oh, okay,
because there's a little dance party going down in Shepherd Park
okay.
with a movie screen and all that stuff. Everything on the park side of the street,
Okay,
yeah.
that's right.
So if that's okay,
Yep.
Chief?
So the way I understood it, that the block is going to be closed down, that's not the case now?
No, the block is only closed. The parade route is from the high school to Shepherd Park. And then we're gonna direct them into Shepherd Park at the county
Also, they're doing
courthouse.
everything kind of off the
We'll
side.
keep everything, yeah, we're gonna keep them all in the
Oh,
the parade part that they love doing that is back. It has been gone for a few years and so that's just to get them, the sheriff's department's gonna help out. If you guys wanna bring a truck down, that's cool too. We're gonna keep them. Just the only time the road's closed is during the parade, which will be about roughly 8 minutes and 40 seconds, I wanna say.
So you'll want the apparatus to escort them
past the entrance of the park.
Yes, that would be good. And then you can make a slow pass to the park. We'll direct the kids onto the sidewalk at the intersection of Amherst and Canada. And then they can go down Lower Amherst and make their way into the park through the trunk or treat. And then down into the old dance party. Sound okay?
Very well.
You want to bring up the rear or you want to lead them?
We do both.
You do both. Okay, and the sheriff's department's gonna be there as well, so. We'll have plenty of assistance.
Flashing lights.
Plenty of flashing lights.
Can't bring it in. Long inspection at 5 o'clock, that's 40 minutes if they go,
And,
45 for dinner, be with them.
right, you have your inspection dinner?
Well, yes, tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Assemble at the station. We'll do the pledge of allegiance and a prayer. Kind of, do a small tour of the station. We have a little, PowerPoint presentation, kind of giving the history and what we expect to, accomplish in the next few years. And we will repair to the beach club for a fine meal, I'm sure. So,
All right,
hope Al can attend.
yeah, and trustees, welcome to attend. I'll try to make it there myself. Thank you. What's for dinner?
Hot dogs, French fries, grilled, steak, chicken and fish.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
Hmm.
Pam, what you got?
Whatever you want. I'll do.
I'm just wondering if there's any resolution to the hole on Helen Street that is over my property. I've talked to Keith about it. He's made, the DPW guy aware. And it's just still sitting there with the 3 cones.
Yeah, we were there with Warren County Soil and Water in the spring and they had made a recommendation. I just don't think we've gotten to it yet, is to cut. And then it needs to be, the whole culvert needs to be repaired.
Yeah.
That's,
From what I understand, I didn't view it myself, but from what John conveyed to me, and that was, back when Billy Ovitt was still with us, and he went down and did a, investigation on there, tried to take some pictures, but I don't think his pen was really the best. So there was, the recommendation, still a temporary recommendation to, cut the section out that's dropped into this sinking and, install a piece of
steel plate.
steel plate. And then blacktop over it, so it's secure. And then we'll have to investigate what's actually going on with the culvert itself, because that sinkhole was created because of the culverts and something wrong with the culvert.
The top of the culvert must be rotting or something like that, but yeah, we'll see to it that it gets addressed in the near future, at least the temporary fix for the winter, and then if we can't get to the repairs, we'll have to do it in the spring.
Okay, thanks. And as a point to Patricia's comments, maybe the motels would put their names on their kayaks. Just as a, an additional identifier, so maybe you can see, who the culprits are. Also, another thing, I really think we need to address after the 4th of July fireworks. I think there's a better way to evacuate the village.
We
And I
are,
really, if you're forming a committee, I would like to be on it.
you are
Because
now on that committee.
I sell parking and I had a woman come up to me in tears begging to use my bathroom for her daughter. And we sit there and just watch after the fireworks and, watch the same license plates, and it's ridiculous. We could do a north-south evacuation, and there's no reason because it also frustrates the people that come. And they're so angry, and you don't want to leave that taste in their mouth, so.
Yeah,
I would be
agreed.
happy to address that in the next year.
I think
because
it's-
don't think it needs to be as horrible as it is.
I think it's a manpower thing
I do,
Um,
and it needs traffic, I grew up in a time where there were actual police people
and cops.
that directed
White gloves.
traffic,
Yeah,
instead of letting that grid just come by the,
Should be right-hand turns only.
Well, I agree, but maybe Montcalm
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Amherst are left turns only.
Yeah.
McGillis and Mohican are right turn only, and you can go straight across to Beach
We're
Road.
trying to make a left off of Mountain Drive and that just, everybody
Right.
stops.
Yeah. No, agreed.
It's ridiculous.
We actually,
So-
I don't want to sound too corny, but that is a problem and we are working on it, but we
Yeah.
really are, because I
Literally
just
today.
sent an email
Yeah.
today. Chris Hawley has, from the town has a plan to evacuate something that they've done in the way back, on the Wayback Machine, and it worked, and, I would take any recommendation from the chief as well.
Cause
Um,
it's real, it's
we're
not
gonna-
safe.
we're gonna have some
It's
meetings
not
about
I
it.
safe.
agree.
You're still gonna need people out there to tell them to go. You
Of
can't
course,
just leave it
yeah,
to their
no,
own-
you
yeah.
can't, no.
Yeah, and especially because Fourth of July is on a Friday this year.
Is it really?
Yep.
It's, you might wanna look at Beach Road when you're completing that, because it's just gridlock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Probably about 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And just, where people go, they just need direction to get out. They do need, I would totally agree, not even stoplights or anything, but an actual person out there going,
Right.
and waving to them and stop.
You could.
And the
you
back
could
streets
have-
get just as congested too, because they don't know where they're going, they just wanna move.
Right.
And I've told people, every radio interview I give, every newspaper interview is, please don't rush
Yeah.
home, stick around, have a slice of pizza. Don't rush to leave, but they all wanna leave at the same time.
Right.
I like to watch
Everybody
them
that
run for
parks-
their cars. It's like.
When I park in my yard, I tell them the same thing,
Yeah,
go have fun for a while and then leave.
Yeah.
Thank
thank you, Pam, appreciate it,
Yeah.
and I'll get that, we'll talk about that tomorrow, please, we'll get a. Steel plate. Mhm. I think I have it, if not, Jose would like your contact info to follow up with you on the safety meeting. Pam Parrot, yep. What you got?
Oh, so make sure we don't forget that.
Back to the regularly scheduled program, number 13, water changes and re-levy. So anyone who didn't pay their taxes or their water bills, they get re-levied onto their taxes. We got the naughty list here, I'll take a motion to approve water changes and re-levy.
Move that motion.
Second? Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Now transfers and audits. If anyone's looked and done any research, some more can be explained if you have any questions. But I'll take a motion to approve. And Joe seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. A reminder, the next regular village board meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 18th, 2024 at 4:30. Keith, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just want to give you a heads up, on the status of the, pump station up at the rec park, with the contractors, been working on that, since last week. They should be wrapped up, I believe, this coming Wednesday. And there's still gonna be more work to be done. That was a site that the village, we're gonna do a portion. But the actual construction part of it that we hired the contractor for, they'll be wrapped up, and I was up there today, and everything's been together pretty well.
They got insulation and sheet rock going up?
They're gonna be working on that, I believe, tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Into Wednesday. I think they're wrapped up on, their portion of it will be wrapped up on Wednesday.
But they just do one coat of tape and that's it?
Well, they're gonna put it in kind, so probably if there's something of that nature is I would have. I'm not really sure, couldn't really tell because of the age of it, if they actually had paint on it or not.
Right, yeah.
But I'm sure it had tape on it, yeah.
Okay.
And then, just a heads up, if anybody's been down, the upper part of, Montcalm Street, DPW is doing a great job, with the pace that they can, with the, pervious, papers. I talked to John today. I figured probably another week and a half, that project will be done for the season, and that'll be nice to get that done before we get, too much, any bad weather coming in on us. So that's going quite well as well.
They are doing a really nice job there. It's a lot that goes into it if you guys haven't noticed. There's a 20-inch base of stone. Yeah, underneath those,
We know this. My daughter's
I
awake.
was gonna say, you
As they
must
go
know
by
this, right?
Skylar
That's right
Street,
there, but no,
waving.
it's great. The water runs right through those things, like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But, okay, thanks.
That's all I have.
All right. Trustee Root,
Just remind me when the cleanup days start, or is it already started?
I think it's today.
Today?
I think it started, yeah, it's on our
22nd of
Oh,
November.
yeah.
Is the end of it.
fall cleanup, 10:21 to 11:22.
But they have been out taking stuff.
Yeah,
So,
we go anyway.
Yeah,
but-
they
Yeah.
do that before. If it's gonna sit there, they don't want it to sit there for weeks.
Yeah.
And limbs or, what's the, technique on that, what do you prefer for as far as branches and things?
Oh, yeah.
I do a lot of pruning in the spring.
You've got a bundle, any
Bundle?
brush and limbs,
Yeah.
no bigger than 3 inches diameter. Bundles have to be 4 foot in length, and so where one person could handle it.
Okay.
And then the bags will be associated with that. too.
Right,
But no bags during cleanup.
Or, I'm
right?
sorry, no bags, but the brush.
Yeah.
And do they prefer them in the street, or can you put it on your yard?
Your yard.
Yeah, right, like,
Well, they come with a loader and just.
Yeah, we.
Right.
Yeah.
well, they don't want them to, I don't want to put them, because it's parking spaces in front of us, so I don't want to put it out in the.
Yeah.
I mean,
School,
I know it's
School
easier,
parking, yeah.
easier for them to scoop it with the bucket, so I,
Yeah, we just try to keep, it's difficult because you don't want to have all that debris going into the storm drains.
right,
So we prefer, especially with the leaf backs that we have. I'd rather keep it just behind the curb. That's a little bit easier, and it keeps most of the stuff out of the storm drains.
that's it.
okay, Joe, Renee?
Yeah, it was. Brought up the hole down on Helen Street. With that. And I was just wondering, the tree that's like, take a truck out, if you came too close to that hole, especially if you got caught in that hole.
Where's
There's
this?
a chance, right, the same hole.
The
where
one on Helen
culvert
Street?
is. Yeah, that tree is really, if you came down with the truck,
Yeah, it's leaning pretty good.
Yeah, all right, well,
it's not the. I just
tell them
wanted
to bring a
address that.
chainsaw when they do that too.
Yeah, well, it was just something
Mhm.
I noticed with also with the hole that I've been meaning to bring up at meetings for several weeks now.
Anything else?
No, I think so.
Not today.
Not
I
today.
think. Besides, I would like to say that Julie's Halloween decorations were pretty cool. I like the hands. I don't know. if
Oh,
you-
Judy's?
Yeah, that was
She's
nice.
doing a good
You
job.
got new stuff
Really?
out there, she said you'd look at.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but when we first saw it, I thought it was amazing, so.
That's it?
Mhm.
Jose?
What a difference a year makes. This time last year, my manager's red book says wet, cold. I don't even want to be open, literally writing that every day in our ledger in our book. And lo and behold, it's a Monday at the end of October, and there's families running around by the water. There's people in the village. It was fun. It was a Hallmark day today on a Monday at the end of October. I loved it. That's it.
All right, I have nothing else. Julie, you got anything? It's Julie shook her head. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make-
Oh, it's the first time. So ordered. Here, sign it. It's just 7. Can you sign?
Yeah. Yeah.